And now, the show you've all been waiting for. It's Vox Bellator. Games, comics, movies, it's all discussed here, live and without filter. If you aren't listening, what are you doing with your life? And now, give it up for your host, Sumo and his co-host, the Smed Head. Let's get into it.
Hello everyone, welcome to Vox Bellator. I am your host Sumo, and as always with me tonight is my esteemed co-host, the Smed Head. Smed, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great as always, Sumo. Doing great. And I'm loving today's topic, today's subjects, everything about it. Which is what we are labeling Warhammer Wednesdays.
That is right. Wednesdays are going to be for Warhammer discussion. We'll be talking about what's new, what's going on, what we've seen in, the previous tournament, if we've gone to one that weekend, or what we've experienced in just fun play between the two of us or with some friends at the game store. We've got a couple of topics. Let's go ahead and start off with one thing real quick. So we've got some made-to-order classic Chaos Sorcerers, man. And they look good.
Not only they look good, they can look how you want them to. And I mean, just the detail in them and just, the different modeling ways and types and weapons you can take. It's really, really great idea and just awesome. I mean, I'm definitely getting one.
Right. These classic Chaos Sorcerers, you can get the one with the axe, with the staff, with the sword. They all look great. This is from like back in the mid 90s through the early 2000s kind of style these guys have. They look awesome. And I think a few of these are from second edition, but this was, the old metal models. And
oh yeah, I still have some
yes,
that I use in my Thousand Suns.
Yes, and they still look awesome. They hold up so well. And folks, if you're looking to get some, if you're looking for a classic look to add into your army, maybe add a little bit of retro to it, hop on to Games Workshop, hop onto their website, get you one ordered. It's limited time, so you want to get them while you can. I think the 27th of this month, so July 27th, they went out, and it's 4 days in. You've got 3 days left, so the last day will be August the 3rd, so get on it.
Yes, and if you haven't noticed, sorcerers are huge. I bet, the last tournament we played, 6 of the 12 armies had at least 3 to 6 sorcerers.
Right.
And that does include demon princes, but just sorcerers in general. Psychic powers are huge, for all the buffs and everything and the stacks that you can get with them.
Yes.
So, yes, like I said, I'm with you. I highly recommend jumping on that before it goes away.
Right. Absolutely. Do it, folks. Do it. Give that hard-earned money to GW. Mortgage your house if you have to. Get them. Next, we're hopping through this real quick. We don't have a great deal of time tonight. We're trying to get through a few things. But next, we've got the Knight Moirax, or Moirax, or whatever you want to pronounce that. But some new stuff for Armigers from Forge World, and boy, do these little kits look fantastic. They are so sexy. Extended carapace, additional weapons with special rules, different heads for them. They look awesome. And they're designed to go on to the Armigers you buy in the plastic set. So it's not a whole kit. It's not the entire model. It's more like upgrades, variations for them, which is a really good idea in my opinion.
Absolutely. And actually, we saw a few of those this past Sunday.
Yes. Yes.
on Helverins and things like that the Chaos players were using.
Yeah, and I think they were some of the pre-release, like throwing them out there just to get people interested. They are now available for pre-order from Forge World for the general public. So hop on if you use Armigers. Get on it. There's two different ones. One is equipped with twin lightning locks, which when I hear lightning lock, I think of the PPCs from BattleTech. The particle projection cannons.
Right.
Just melt armor and cause all kinds of problems for you. And then the second one is a more close range Armiger, much like the Warglaive, and it's armed with a Volkite Vuglair, which, if you know anything about Volkite weapons, they were the directed energy. They were the laser weapons that are just absolutely devastating. And it comes with a Gaiji Siege Claw. So, and Siege Claws are pretty freaking nasty. This one's probably going to be, double strength. So, and I think the strength on an Armiger is what? Is it 6 or 7?
Oh, it's 7. Absolutely 7, if not 8.
So you're looking at least.
I'd have to look in my Imperial Force, but I'm positive it's 7 or more. I haven't used my Helverins in a while, so.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. So you're looking at least a strength 14 weapon there that is just going to absolutely rip through tanks. So, and with the Volkite Vuglair, you're looking at some serious tank killing power. So that's really awesome. So check them out. Get on Forge World pre-order. Get you some. If you use Armigers, it's a great little expansion for you. Takes it from 2 types to 4 types, which is fantastic. They need a little bit more variety, in my opinion. But it just gives them some other options they can take.
Okay, no. It is strength 6 base.
Okay, so strength 6. So you're looking at a strength 12 weapon. That's still fantastic. You're still tearing through tanks with that. You're not wounding on a 2, but you're going to wreck some stuff because it's probably got a pretty good AP to it. It's probably going to be AP minus 3 or 4.
It's probably going to be close to the Armigers, which are, times 2 strength, minus 3, but it's a flat 3.
Right. Yeah, it's probably going to have good AP, good damage, and who knows, maybe if a vehicle or something is under a certain strength, maybe it can do like the Knights and chunk it. Who knows? That would be absolutely hilarious.
That would be great.
But, in the Warhammer video game world, Smed, have you heard about Mechanicus, the tactical turn-based game?
I saw something come up on Spiky Bits about it. I had the pop-up, but I did not read it. Gotcha. What'd you get out of it?
I haven't played it, but I'm a big fan of like the XCOM games. I love those, and I played Warhammer 40K Squad Command back in the day. We're on the PlayStation Portable and the Nintendo DS, where you controlled the Ultramarines and everything, and it was all tactical turn-based too.
Yeah, I played the old 40K game where you were a Tau player.
Oh, God. Oh, Fire Warrior. Oh. We don't talk about the dark times. But,
it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't
terrible. It was
terrible.
fucking awful.
Yeah. It was. There are... the only good thing about that game was the plasma weapons, because if you killed somebody with them, they burst into blue flames and started screaming and running around.
The main thing I really liked about it was first person.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I really wish they'd revisit a good first person shooter 40K game that Xbox owners can get. Looking at you, Deathwing. Was so stoked to be able to get that game, and it never happened. But Mechanicus now has an expansion coming out called Heretic, and I'm super excited because in the main campaign for Mechanicus, it was Mechanicus versus Necrons. So
Right.
now you'll probably be able to go up against Heretic faction stuff, which is really cool to me. It's very very neat. They get away from following the Mechanicus doctrine to the letter and everything, and they don't have a beef with using alien weaponry and stuff like that. So heretics are kind of a neat little niche subject in 40K that I would love to explore in a video at some point. One of my goofy redneck talks 40K. Which the next one should be up in a few days, guys. It'll be on the Orcs, so be on the lookout for that. That one's going to be really fun. All right. And let's talk about another little detail, another little thing that has come up in the last week or so. An Eisenhorn television show is in development. So not being produced yet, not filming or anything. It's just in the early stages, so let's not get our hopes up too much, but I'm really excited if this does come to fruition because I didn't expect the Inquisition. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah, no, not at all. But I think it's going to have enough support from the, not just the 40K community, but from just the all over, gamer community, to push this. And, that's helped make a lot of shows and a lot of movies. And honestly, I mean, let's say with Kill Team in 8th edition, with, making Warhammer a little bit more simplified, to be honest, from all the other previous editions.
Yeah, and making
there has been so many and so much more, new players coming into the game. And I think that would help even boost it even more. So I think Games Workshop is going to put all they can, all they can afford at least, into getting this done.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think that would be a really good move for them because let's face facts here, man. This is the time period where dark and gritty, like sci-fi and fantasy, is really coming into its own as a genre. We're really getting into a time like Game of Thrones just wrapped up this year. Final season was garbage, but we won't talk about that now. I'll just be disappointed for the rest of my life. But that was, very much a dark fantasy setting. It wasn't all gloom and doom all the time, but it wasn't afraid to show death. It wasn't afraid to show, sexual violence in many instances. It really broke boundaries, and it showed that, putting those things on screen, you can still have a really good show and have those elements in it. So that makes me very excited because this is going to be based on the Eisenhorn series of novels. I really enjoyed them because it's not just about Gregor Eisenhorn. He's got a wonderful supporting cast with him, his acolytes and adjutants.
Yeah, and if you haven't read them, I absolutely recommend it. Heretics, Malleus, and Xenos, all just fantastic. And there's so many more.
Yeah, there's tons of short stories with Gregor Eisenhorn.
Yes, and he's done a bunch of short stories, as I'm saying, books with like Dan Abbott and all of them. I mean, he's been around for a while, but like so, those main three are what the show is supposed to be based on.
Yes, and I really like this is the quote from Dan Abnett, who wrote the books and the stories and everything. Gregor Eisenhorn is a relentless force in the dark future of the Warhammer universe, a destroyer of demons and a purger of heretics, implacable, powerful, and dedicated. But the appeal to me from the moment I started writing him was his complexity. He is not the simple, ruthless hero he appears to be. His battle with the warp leads him into dark places and forces him to question his duty, his understanding of the Imperium, and his own identity. With Eisenhorn, it's not just the adventures, and they are certainly vivid. It's the journey he takes to the very limits of what he is and what it means to be loyal. And that's a perfect summation of a great TV show in the making. I would absolutely watch this.
Multiple times.
And the development is being led by a man named Frank Spotnitz. He's done Man in the High Castle, X-Files. He got 3 Golden Globes for those. So this guy is a good show developer and a good showrunner. He knows what he's doing. He can take, with Man in the High Castle, he can take something and make it so much more than the thing it's based on. Because honestly, I could see, you could do 2 seasons a novel and wind up with 6 great seasons if you do it right of a Warhammer 40k TV show, and that would open the universe up to so many more people getting interested in it. Because there are some folks who never play the games, but they read the books and they love them. They love the universe.
I mean, you've seen my collection. I mean, I have probably 20 just Horus Heresy books sit beside my bed that I've read multiple times. Man. And not including the ones that are put up that that I've already read multiple times before. I mean, and I have multiple short story books, even some of the newer ones. I mean, of course, one of my favorites was like Ren's World, or what's the Maladrax.
Yes.
Gosh, I love that with Lysander.
Like the different, like the series, the Battles of the Space Marines, with like the Hunt for Voldorius and Maladrax and Ren's World. Those are amazing. The Horus Heresy stuff is fantastic. And honestly, if they nail Eisenhorn, if they get it right, I think the logical next step is to go to the Horus Heresy. Once the books wrap up and everything, once we get through the Scouring, which that's still a few years out, because they've been doing the Horus Heresy since, 2006 or so? As far as the books have been coming out, 2006, 2007?
Oh, man. It might have been before that.
It very well could have been. They may have started in like 2004 or so. But, they've been going with that for a long time. They've put out great books, like 4 or 5 novels a year in the series. So, like, it's just this ever-expanding library of stuff that they can draw on. And this is a period of time where you can actually have Primarchs and Astartes as the main characters. And in the Horus Heresy novels, they're humanized enough that you could relate to them. You could see their flaws and think to yourself, "Oh man, I could totally imagine having that kind of power and fucking up," And I think that would be a good logical next step for it. The Space Marines that are in the 41st millennium or 42nd now, as the timelines finally moved ahead, thanks GW. Only after 30 years. I mean, come on, guys, cut us some slack. But I do think it's a better idea going with the humans now in the 41st millennium setting, in the Eisenhorn setting. That's a great step in the right direction, because the Space Marines now are so far removed from humanity because of what they do. There are very few Space Marine chapters that actually ever deal with the people of the planets they draw from, except when they take in aspirants. When they take in candidates.
Exactly. But like I said, the thing I mentioned before about the show, it would be a big boost for Games Workshop.
It really would.
That's why I think they should and probably will put as much as they can into this to make it happen, because they're going to get that many more people interested in it and sell that much more product.
Right. So this is great. Probably going to be like an Amazon Prime or Hulu deal, which is going to be fantastic in my opinion. That's the way to go.
I say go Amazon.
Traditional television, it's dying. It really is.
It's not just that. It's just the way the the 40K universe works, it wouldn't work on regular TV.
It wouldn't. The FCC restrictions would absolutely kill the creativity of the show. You could probably do it with Amazon or with HBO, but definitely the streaming services are the way to go. They've just got so much more money to throw into things.
I was going to say, yeah, HBO would charge too much to do it. That's why, exactly, streaming services are the way to be right now.
Because they've got the resources and their infrastructure is a lot lower to take care of. I mean, their overhead and everything for doing the shows, it's going to be a lot less than somebody like HBO, traditional terrestrial television stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I hope it goes ahead. I hope I hope when the first trailer for it drops, if that comes to be, I'm looking for it to blow me away. And this, in combination with the Richard Boylan series that's coming out, which is going to be a CGI Space Marine based series focusing on the Blood Angels, it looks like, from what they've shown. I'm really excited. I think it would be fantastic to have both of those coming around at the same time. You could get two different perspectives into the Warhammer universe. So that would be a great thing. And I'd love to see more people come into the hobby because of stuff like that. That would really make me happy. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the tournament this last Saturday. And see what happened there. And of course, as noted in our last Warhammer Talk podcast, we came in and saw a whole bunch of Chaos Demons. A lot of demon armies, a lot of sorcerer's powers, and, it was crazy. It was absolutely insane. Both the matches I played, we did have to leave a little early. There was a family emergency on Smed's side. Nothing like health critical or anything like that. Just some serious help being needed back at the house. But we had to cut it short. But we got in 2 matches each. And actually our second match was against each other. He was running Filthy Space Commie Weeaboos, the Tau, for anybody not familiar with the terminology there. And he pretty much stomped me. I played stupid, though, because I knew I was running Raven Guard gunline with a squad of Vanguard veterans. And that
but the Raven Guard gunline is pretty good, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, my problem was taking points away and putting them in the Vanguard vets. That was a mistake I won't make again. They would be good against something like Imperial Guard or something like that, coming in on maybe a Bulgarin unit or some such, and giving them hell, tying them up. But with Raven Guard, with Space Marines, you've either got to go whole hog on one thing or whole hog on the other. You can't really have
there's no in between.
There's no.
And I mean with Marines, you have to go gunline. I mean, you pretty much most Marine armies, go, night, 3 Predators, small troop squads kind of stuff, bang, bang.
Yeah.
I love the way you run your list. I mean, you have a little bit for everything. I mean, you run 6 Centurions, 3 Thunderfires, 3, last cannon missile launcher dreadnoughts. All these lieutenants, captains that in one you make a chapter master, and then you have a squad of aggressors, and having Raven Guard, you can spend that command point, and if you have first turn, that's an automatic 9 inches, or however far it is they get to move. Then they get to move again. I mean, and that's something you can throw in their face. That's a pretty cheap unit for how tough and how many shots they put out.
Oh yes.
And you can run a lieutenant and a captain up behind them at the same time, advance them right there. I mean, you beat me with it before many times. I mean, it's really hard, especially, and like I said, that -1 to hit is just, it's hard on any army, especially though, like Tau, you know, anything with a 4+, honestly,
Oh, it hurts.
it's just going to hurt. I mean, and even if you're playing a shooty orc army, even with all their combos and stacks, they're still only going to be hitting you on 4s and 5s
Right.
at best, if everything goes their way.
Right. And that's what I've got to focus on. Knowing after having experienced this, trying out the Vanguard vets, honestly, the only setup I'd ever run with that army now, as far as Vanguard vets, would be plasma pistol, storm shield. Just have a little blob I can drop in and get 5 to 10 plasma pistol shots off real quick and tie something up. Just charge in at them, tie them up. But that'll be off in the future. I'll have to break some arms off and magnetize some stuff. So
I'm telling you, man, go just straight company veterans. Do what I did. Storm Shield, Storm Bolter. With the new Bolter rule, it is 90 points for a 5-man squad with a 3+3+, 4 shots apiece if they don't move, 2 shots if they do.
And that's what
and they're very, very expendable because it's 90 points.
Right. It's for 3 squads. You're only looking at 270 points. That's 15 models. But
like I said, I run 2. It's 180 points.
Yes.
And people will focus fire on them.
Right.
And they soak it up, and you keep an apothecary right there and just bring one right back.
Well,
it's so great. And not only that, like I said, if they don't focus on them after your first turn of movement, they're going to be in range, and they're going to put out a lot of bolter shots. Like I said, it's too cheap not to use.
Absolutely. And that's the great thing about them. Yeah, it's 5 guys in the squad, 5 models with a 3+3+, and at 24 inches, if they didn't move, they're putting out 20 bolt shots. And you stack that with just stack that with an apothecary, a captain, a lieutenant.
I just do captain, lieutenant, or captain apothecary, and it works great.
And you're just drilling folks.
I run, my 2 squads of 5 in my Imperial Fist, so I'm ignoring cover. I run an apothecary, Primaris, and I run Lysander right up the middle. And those are all like my cheapest units, right. Which is the best part. So people focus fire on them, and they'll put heavy fire on them. So storm shields are just so great being as cheap as they are now. And like I said, with the new bolter rule, it just it changes everything, especially with Primaris, because all my troops are Primaris. I run 40 intercessors.
Yeah, it's so many shots. It's so many shots. At 30 inches, having, 80 shots typically the way you arrange yours, I mean, it's so nasty. And at -1 AP, ignoring cover with all your guys as Imperial Fists, it's disgusting. it's gross to deal with.
I run 3 of the normal intercessors, and then I run 1 with the stalkers. So I have one squad that's only shooting once a piece, but it's -2 ignoring cover. Right. And that's where I go at heavier squads, that don't have storm shields.
Right. And those are at a 36-inch range too, so you've got a little bit more distance, and you're pretty much using them as intercessors or snipers.
Right, and like I said, I still have my little blob, just kind of like you do with the chapter ancient. I have a plasma cannon dev squad, a heavy bolter dev squad, which, man, when you bolter drill that and you have a chapter master and a lieutenant around, whoo, you're talking about putting out some strength 5 -1 shots that people don't realize, and you're like, that's 115 points, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's just nasty. Honestly, I definitely see you getting some Centurions in the future and just falling in love with them with bolter drill. And
I know. I mean, I had started getting some, and then the box I'd bought, I was getting ready to, I'd started putting one together,
Mm-hmm.
and your birthday came up,
Yep.
and you had bought some, and you were wanting some. I mean, that's why I gave them to you.
And
I mean,
then
and
so greatly
it has
appreciate it.
paid off for you tremendously, and I'm so happy about that.
It really, that's probably the best birthday present I've gotten in a long time.
Because I mean, I couldn't imagine being able to bolter drill, 4 to 6 Centurions with all the hurricane bolters and
Oh my
heavy
god!
bolters. Oh my gosh, the shots I would get ignoring cover.
And it's, let me tell you, man, with Storm of Fire alone as a warlord trait that I run with my chapter master, just having that extra AP, like having AP -1 hurricane bolter shots on the roll of a 6.
Yeah, and they don't get the minus, to moving and shooting
No,
if you need to move them.
yeah, that's the great thing. They have no negative modifiers for moving and shooting heavy weapons. Rapid fire weapons, they don't have a negative modifier because of the bolter rules now. That
Two plus save.
yes, 2+ save, 3 wounds, toughness 5. They're insane. It is up there. It's 210 points for 3. They're 70 points per. But as long as your sergeant stays alive, you're ignoring cover. They're a really good unit. They're
Oh,
an
they're
absolutely
great,
disgusting unit.
and just like you do, you keep an ancient around. So if one dies, if somebody's close enough, he's going to fire. You keep an apothecary around, you can bring one back.
Exactly, exactly. It's all about mitigation and regeneration, man. That's that's the great thing about it. That if you're gonna play Space Marines, you've got to play smart. You've got to get things that are gonna either bring your guys back or let them fight when they get killed. I do both. And you've got to increase the number of shots that'll hit. You've got to math it out. You've got to do things in your favor. And that was what is so neat with this edition of 40K, and what I've had so much fun with is the math and everything that goes into it. It's been a lot of fun.
Uh, Absolutely, but the one thing that I'm sure they're going to FAQ here soon is all the stacks you can do. With people running demon armies. Taking bloodletter bombs and plague bearer shield wall bombs, and then taking pink horror bombs and all that, and they can all buff off each other. That's not right.
Yeah, that's it's a little ridiculous with the demons right now, and that's you know talking about that at the beginning, talking about the tournaments and stuff like that. It's a little aggravating. It's not like anything that's going to make me freaking flip a table and leave the store or anything.
No, because I've beaten
Mm-hmm.
2 out of those 3 main demon armies up there. I just haven't got to play Major yet. And shout out to Major, great player.
Amazing.
He's in the top 10 ranked right now in Alabama, and he's got a great list. I mean, I give it to him. He's a great player. Even his Space Wolf army. I mean, he's a great army. He's
Yes.
a great guy. But like I said, when it comes to, there's just so many people doing the demon spam, which I get. It works. Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
why not use it if it works? I mean, if it works, use it.
Yes.
Uh, but I kind of found the kryptonite to that was Eldar.
Yes. Very
I
mobile,
mean,
very shooty.
very mobile, very shooty, and I can still dish out as many mortal wounds as they can.
Mhm. Absolutely, and that's one thing I hope, and I hope Ninth Edition is a good ways off. I really do, but I do hope that for Ninth Edition there will be some sort of reduction in mortal wounds that can be dished out. As far as like psychic powers and stuff like that, because it's tough. It's really tough when you're not running psychers. Like if you're playing Marines, the only defense against psychers you have is either playing Black Templars and you have a stratagem which you only get to use once per turn because it's a specific stratagem. You only get to use one of, a specific one.
But Grey Knights.
Grey Knights.
Which I haven't seen any, surprisingly, which makes me want to break mine out.
Right, and I don't think it's a matter of them not being competitive. I just don't think anybody's put the time in to figure out a competitive list with them.
Well, I mean, with the new Bolter rule, golly,
right?
You could just take 6 troop squads.
Yes.
I mean, you really could.
Yeah. Then you've got 60 guys putting out 240 shots at 24 inches per turn.
All psychers.
Can
plus deny plus your HQs, and then for all your heavies, you take Dread Knights.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I said, other than that, and Space Wolves have pretty good denial because everybody takes Najal, and of course Najal is, just one of the best out there. But when you have Najal and Arjak on the field, that's a big threat. But when you're playing Space Wolves, just like playing against a demon army, there's going to be 5 or 6 characters out there.
Oh, of course.
You're going to have your Slam Captain or your Slam Wolf Lords and everything else. So you have a lot to worry about, and plus all the long fangs that can take the pack leaders as Terminators, a Wolfguard pack leader is a Terminator with a Cyclone. Plus, you have all your other missile launchers or plasma cannons and everything else. And the Space Wolves have a lot going for them, and the Wolfen squads are just unbelievable with the Storm Shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of disgusting. They're tough to stop.
Yeah, they really, really are.
I think I would like to go up against some Space Wolves with my Raven Guard gun line, the new list I've got figured out. I think I could do all right with that. I would definitely like that opportunity. Have some good wolfing up on the field.
I think you have the number of shots to make their 3+3+5+. Feel no pain, not plausible. But the thing is it's just the turn 1 would help.
Yeah.
But just like you do, and I always do, you always set up to go second.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's a really big advantage with the Raven Guard too. For 3 command points, I can pretty much rearrange within 9 inches 3 units. So that helps out a lot. If I get the first turn, throw my aggressors up, or honestly against Wolfguard, I'd probably Space Wolves, I'm just gonna hold everything back. I'm gonna let them come to me. Let them do the hard work.
If you're going first, no, screw that. I'd throw the aggressors right up in their face because their wolfing are going to be up front.
Yes.
And all those shots, oh yeah, I would let them soak up all the wolfing and everything else. You'll be fine. Because you got 3 Thunderfires, 6 Centurions. Like I said, all those Dreads. You got plenty of shots.
Sure.
And anything that he has shooting back at you is at -1, and that really kills Marines because they're so elite heavy, and especially Space Wolves. They are very elite heavy.
Very much, very elite and powerful HQ heavy, always.
Yes,
that's the way they're played. They're an army of heroes.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, we're about to hit the 40-minute mark, and I know we're a little short on time tonight, so we'll go ahead.
We got a little more time.
We got a little more time? All right. Hit us, brother. What have you got on your mind as far as Warhammer is concerned?
Well, the one thing that surprised me on the last tournament we played was the Dark Eldar.
Yes.
He won. Major got third, and the other Chaos guy, Ryan Schultz, which is another great guy. I actually met him at the Pelham game store here in Alabama before it closed down. Really, really nice guy, but a very smart player, and he did very well. He didn't have the demon spam. He had, a renegade knight, some renegade Helverins, just a little bit of everything. He had a couple of demon squads, but he didn't, do the whole overlapping spam, bullshit everybody else is doing.
Right.
And like I said, he ended up getting second. Like I said, but the Dark Eldar really surprised me, and what won it for him was bringing those flyers.
Mm-hmm. The hemlocks, or not hemlocks, nightshades or something like that.
Yes, I believe that's it. Hemlocks, normal Eldar.
Yeah, normal Eldar for hemlocks, and they got Crimson Hunters as well. Yeah, I think Nightshade fighter bombers is what they have. But
now Sunday, we're going up to meet Rick. I think Matt might come up as well, and of course, Big Papa Smed's coming, so there's no telling what he's going to bring. But like I said, I'm going to get Rick on the first game because he says he's got an Imperial list that should be good against. He pretty much built it against my Eldar after I. No offense, butt raped him. The first round of not the last tournament, the tournament before that, and it really took it to him. So I'm still going to play the Eldar against him, but I'm going to throw a few tricks in there. I'm going to swap it up.
That'll be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to seeing that match go down, and I imagine that'll put me playing Big Papa Smed for the first round, and I'm just wondering what he's going to take. I know it's probably going to be Crimson Tide, but is it going to be a whole lot of Assault Marines?
That's the thing. I mean, if he's playing Crimson Tide, he's got, almost 40,000 points worth.
Yes.
So you really don't know what you're going to get.
You have no idea. None whatsoever what Big Papa Smed's going to throw at you. I mean, it could wind up being like 9 dreadnoughts.
Actually, he can take 12 legally.
You disgust me.
He can take 3 Death Company Dreads, 3 Venerables, 3 Furiosos, 3 Librarian, and 3 normal. So, I mean, I guess he could take, more if he wanted.
Just a straight unbound list, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's all unbound. He really wouldn't have many command points, but, I mean, he'd have, 3 Contemptors as well.
Oh, dear God.
And, of course, he has over 30 Dreadnoughts, and he's got all those.
That's true.
I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't matter what list you're going against. When you see, 13, 14 Dreadnoughts on the board, it's like, oh, shit. Who do I got to shoot?
First mate, bring me my brown pants. I think definitely going to have a good time Sunday. Definitely going to have to bring back a battle report for next Warhammer Wednesday. And we got to get Big Papa Smed on here with us before too long. And
I believe he said he is going to join us next Monday for Marvel Mondays.
Fantastic. And are we talking the more obscure stuff that's coming up with the Phase 4, the Eternals and everything?
Correct. We are going to catch people up on the backstory of all the new stuff that the MCU is going to be introducing. plus much, much more, because Big Papa Smed has the most knowledge of the Marvel Universe that you could ever imagine.
That's
I mean, there's no better way to put it.
I'm super excited for Monday, y'all. Let me tell you, this man is so knowledgeable about so many different things in geek culture, especially when it relates to 40K and Marvel and DC. He's been in the comics forever. You know, I believe.
I mean, yeah, he's published for himself. Yeah, he's a great artist. He's been in the comics his whole life. He knows. I mean, he was talking to me the other day about all the new stuff coming out, and just telling me about characters I've never even heard of, and tell me backstories. I mean, characters that he's like, there's one character in Marvel is so and so that's better at fighting than Iron Fist. And it's just like, what the hell? Really? Like, God, this guy's like 3 Batmans in one person. Like, because Iron Fist could beat Batman in, just a one-on-one fight.
That's
like I said, he's a very smart, knowledgeable guy, especially when it comes to these kinds of topics. And I can't wait to have him on.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It'll be a completely different tone than when we have Sir Mounts on here, when we have Will, but it's gonna be just as entertaining for a whole different reason. I'm super excited to have him on, and I hope our watchers, our listeners, are getting hyped for it. I think that's gonna be a fantastic stream. That's going to be great. I really look forward to it. Oh, yes.
You will be learning a lot about what you thought you knew that's probably similar to what you knew, and then plus another 60% on top of that you had no idea about.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty much my life.
I wanted to make one correction in relation to this week's Marvel Monday when we were discussing the Punisher. I made a mistake. The Fall of Saigon was not in 73, it was in 1975. I believe 73 was the official step down of all combat action in Vietnam. I think that's when they started withdrawing troops and stopped deploying them there, other than in Saigon for policing and stuff like that. So just wanted to correct the record on that in case somebody goes into the old video and is like, you got it all wrong. This didn't happen until then. I just want to head that off at the pass. I know I screwed up. Let me endure my shame like a man by internalizing it until it becomes a tumor.
Hey, you're admitting it. That's all that matters. I mean, you're not going to sit there and fight your case and say, no, it did happen in 73.
No, only assholes do that. I've never considered myself much of an asshole. I have my asshole moments, but, I'm a genial guy. I'm a jolly fellow. I'm like Santa Claus incarnate. So, oh, man.
Oh, dude. But one more thing that I want to ask you directly, Sumo. Should I bring the Eldar Sunday, or should I just show up and surprise him with Tyranids?
This is a tough one for me because he has set up 4 Eldar to beat you. So if you still beat him with the Eldar after he had taken an army specifically to kick your butt.
Which I have confidence that I can, because I threw some loops in there. I threw a whole bunch of different stuff, and I still have 5 wave serpents. I don't have the jet bikes anymore, but I have a lot more surprises in store for him on that part.
Right.
But
at the same time, if we go ahead and get all your Nid stuff glued back together, I have not seen them on the field of battle in years now.
Yeah, and I've got probably 10,000 points worth.
honestly, man, my opinion, I say run the Nids.
I mean, I've gotten all the newest models, putting them together. Still haven't used them.
Bring it on out.
Like I
Bring out
said,
the Gribblies.
I just think it'd throw a loop in his game, and Nids actually have some really, really pretty neat combos. And of course, if he's running an Imperial slash, Imperial Guard list, I think the Nids can do some damage.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I'd really love to see him on the field. I love your paint scheme for him. High Fleet Ruxpin is the shit.
All they want to do is hug you.
So, just a little backstory on High Fleet Ruxpin. The brown that is used on the Tyranids, they're a green, brown, and bone white on the sword symbiotes and everything, and the teeth and all. But the brown is called teddy bear brown, correct? Smed?
Correct.
It was teddy bear brown, so of course.
And if y'all do not know of Teddy Ruxpin, he was a teddy bear from the 80s.
Yes. And he had this little tape that you could take out and put a different one in, but like the original tape he came with, you put it in his back and then you close up the flap. And that had all the little pre-recorded stuff on him, like "I love you" and all that other stuff.
I say, just like Ted is what I was going to say. I love you.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And they were named after Teddy Ruxpin, and
right.
That's all they want. They just want big, ginormous, rapist hugs.
Yes, that's exactly right. All the high fleets are named after terrifying monsters from mythology, and this is just another one, because if you've ever seen a Teddy Ruxpin, they're fucking terrifying. Those little eyes snap open with their, black like a doll's eyes, all lifeless. It's fucking terrifying. The little mouth
like
moves and it's scary. Like they scared little 4-year-old me when I saw one that was already like 10, 11 years old at the time.
And like I said, and as you know, Eldar was my first love, for 40Ks, first army I came into. But Tyranids was always the second. I played them 4th, 5th, 6th. Didn't really play them too much in 7th because they really just sucked.
Yeah.
In 7th.
A lot of them sucked in 7th.
But they are very, very playable. That from what I see in 8th, and I do not see them even in fun games going up there or in tournaments when we go up there to Superior Games. Shout out Superior Games. You threw a great tournament this past weekend, by the way.
Awesome tournament. Steven, good job, buddy. Good job on that tournament, running it. Exactly, man. We always have a good time. They always do a good job up there.
They kept it firm. They kept it official. And, of course, not every player does, but we always keep it fun.
That's exactly right. If you're not having fun in the hobby, it's time to go. It's time to put it down for a little while. Maybe come back in a couple of years. But
that's it. That's it.
Before we sign off of here, I want to say one thing. You have played Tyranids for so long, and I remember the old school terrifying Carnifexes, like the 2nd edition models.
Screamer killers.
They looked so goofy, but they were so cool what they could do, and this was back in 3rd edition. But even in 5th edition, when they got nerfed so bad because the guy who wrote their codex, Robin Cradace or Cradaci or whatever, however you pronounce that last name, he was the Imperial Guard fanboy and had written their codex. And he nerfed the Tyranids so damn bad. He made them so expensive points-wise. And this man...
it was the points, and what really broke it was taking Death Spitters from the small templates to the shots.
Yes.
And taking away the deck effects or no, not the deck effects, it's the heavy shooting effects. It's like you used to be able to have a venom cannon and a barb strangler.
Yep.
Which were huge. You had a large blast template and you had 2 or 3 shots with a strength 10 weapon, per Carnifex for a great price. I mean, the DAC effects have always been around. It was 6th edition where they really upped the points on the Carnifexes and just kind of nerfed them. They didn't fix it in 7th. They didn't get an update then. Like I said, but now on their new codex, everything's kind of affordable. And honestly, I'm really attracted to the Turbogons.
Oh yeah.
Being HQs, being able to produce 10 Termagants a turn. I mean, and when you're looking at 40 points for 10 Termagants with flesh bores.
Yes.
I mean, that's almost unlimited troops, if you feel like, throwing in 240 points in there. That's 6 squads. You have 2 Turbogons. 3 turns, you can have 60 Gons out there, plus what you've already got out there. The Hive Guard are very interesting. Of course, people are doing DAC Tyrant still, which are, of course, why wouldn't you? I mean, I have plenty of those, and a lot of people are actually running the Swarm Lord now, because he was way overpriced in the last codex.
Yes.
He was about 300 points. He was 295, and now he's down to like 245. And for what he does, he's actually a little bit better, and better for against psychic stuff and for doing psychic stuff. And his hand-to-hand is unreal.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, 4 Bone Sabers, it's pretty nasty. He is he can definitely rip some stuff apart for sure. And it's just it's absolutely disgusting. My opinion, I say run the Nids, run the Gribblies. just throw a curveball.
I'm about to say throw a curveball. I thought about even throwing in, old One Eye.
Oh my goodness, that would be epic.
Because he's actually not bad now. But
no. And y'all, this man has the original, or maybe it was the updated old One Eye model.
No, it's the original.
It's the original. Okay, because he never had one for
everything extra on it has been green stuffed.
Mm-hmm. It is fantastic looking, y'all, and it looks so great with that color scheme. I mean, it's a masterpiece.
I appreciate it, and the thing is about the color scheme is it's so simple, but it looks so good.
It pops. So well,
just like the Tau Army.
Mm-hmm.
The Tau Army is so simple colors, but it looks so good. I can't tell you how many compliments I got on my Tau Army in this last tournament. Just like, man, bought this, put it together, put it in the closet, for last year. Just decided to break it out. It's simple things, For me and Dad, we don't go for super detail. We go for just board look.
Right, exactly, and that's what I intend to do with my guys. The one drawback is I'm gonna have to break some arms and re-glue as far as weapons and stuff like that. But I don't mind it. It takes.
Yeah, but the way I see it, you want everything to look good and symmetrical and everything, and I get that. But unless you're going for best painted or you're entering a contest or anything,
yeah, if you're shooting for a golden demon, that's a whole.
You would be surprised on how the colors, just basic colors that you can use, because I use between me and Dad, very little GW paints.
Same.
At all. We use mostly Walmart paints.
Yeah, exactly. And I bought Vallejo. I just bought the kit, the starter pack, And it's pretty much got every color I want. It's got some metallics, it's got some very good like flat colors, and it's got some that are pretty vibrant. And it works. It's got everything I need. My color scheme for my army is a dark like hunter green, a little bit darker than Dark Angels green, black on the the joints and everything, and then orange for the helmets, or white, depending on their rank, and then bright ass green lenses. That's so it's kind of got that night vision look to it. And it's it's not going to be hard to paint them. I really got to sit down and do it, and unfortunately, sometimes it's just not possible.
Yeah, it's always about finding the time, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's the main thing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, brother, is there anything else we need to discuss on this wonderful Warhammer Wednesday?
One thing. Rick, you're going down.
Sunday.
Going down in a hemi-powered ram.
That's going to be a great match. We will have battle reports for y'all next week.
Oh, and we're going to, like I said, after the first, we're going to swap up. And like I said, I'll either be playing you or Matt, or it'll be you and Matt and Dad and Rick, because I know Dad and Rick are going to want to play.
They're going to get a game in, for sure. That's got to happen.
Definitely. So I'll probably sit out one match unless somebody's there, just for a pickup game, which I'll holler at a couple buddies. I'll holler at Chris and all of them to see if they want to come up there, just to get a game in. Other than that, you got it coming, Rick. It is on.
Prepare thy anus.
Yes. Prepare for massive rapage hugs.
Right in the bussy. Well, all right, brother. As always, I have enjoyed it. We have a wonderful time here on the stream, guys. We love talking to anybody that's listening. We love just putting this on for y'all. We have so much fun. If we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't do it. And we just want to thank y'all for your support. Want to make sure that y'all have a wonderful next day. We'll be back on Friday, hopefully. We may not, depending on the situation. If we are not, have a fantastic weekend. Take care of yourselves. And as always,
roll tide.
Goodbye, everybody.